Imagine this: a quiet forest in Norway. Cold air, no witnesses, no screams. And then a body is discovered. Burned, unrecognizable, surrounded by melted plastic, empty pill bottles. And absolute silence, no ID, no name. No one reported her missing to this day. No one knows who she really was. This is the story of the Isdal Woman, a mystery so disturbing. Even investigators were left questioning reality itself. It was November 29, 1978. A father and his two daughters were hiking near Isdal Valley. Close to Bergen, Norway, the place had a dark reputation. Locals called it Death Valley. Suddenly, the girls noticed something strange between the rocks. A human body. The woman was lying face up, her hands clenched, her posture unnatural. She had been burned alive. Her face was beyond recognition. Around her body, police found burned clothing and empty liquor bottles, several sleeping pill packets, melted plastic. There was no sign of a struggle, no footprints nearby. It was as if she had chosen this place to die. The autopsy revealed chilling details: cause of death, carbon monoxide poisoning plus sleeping pills, fingertips, scratched raw stomach, pills still dissolving. But the most disturbing part: every label on her clothes had been carefully removed. No fingerprints on record, no missing persons report matched her. It was like she had erased herself from existence. Police asked a simple question: how does a person die without ever having lived? Days later, investigators traced hotel records. What they found changed everything. The woman had stayed in multiple hotels across Europe, but every time, a different name, a different nationality, a different profession. Belgian, French, Dutch, sometimes a teacher, sometimes a businesswoman inside her suitcase. Wigs, sunglasses, foreign currency. A notebook filled with coded symbols. This wasn't a normal traveler. This was someone who never wanted to be found. And then police realized something terrifying. She wasn't running from danger. She was trained, careful, methodical, calculated. Which raised a horrifying question: was the Isdal Woman a spy, or was she hiding from something far worse? Because what investigators discovered next turned this case into a Cold War nightmare. As investigators dug deeper, the case became stranger by the day. Hotel records showed the woman had checked in under at least 8 different names. Each time, a new identity. Each time, a new story. She claimed to be a Belgian businesswoman, a French antiques dealer, a Dutch teacher. Sometimes she spoke broken English. Other times, perfect German or French. Witnesses noticed something unsettling. She would ask for rooms with balconies, change rooms frequently, check in late, check out suddenly, and always she paid in cash. No phone calls, no letters, no personal connections. It was as if she existed only long enough to disappear again. Inside her suitcase, police found a small notebook. At first, it looked meaningless, just lines of letters and numbers. But when investigators cracked the pattern, they realized it was a travel log written in code. Each line represented a city, a date, a hotel stay. She had moved constantly. Norway, Germany, France, Switzerland. Never staying in one place too long. This wasn't random travel. This was deliberate movement. And then came the most disturbing detail. Some of the coded entries matched military and naval activity locations during the Cold War. That's when the theory changed. This wasn't just a mysterious death. This could be espionage. Witnesses began to remember things they hadn't noticed before. Hotel staff recalled. She wore different wigs, changed her appearance often, used heavy makeup one day. None the next. A waiter remembered her sitting alone, staring intensely at strangers. Another witness claimed she spoke to a man in German, then suddenly switched languages. When she noticed someone listening, her posture, her awareness, her discipline. Former intelligence experts later said, this behavior matches trained operatives, not tourists. She didn't want attention, but she also didn't want to be followed. The pills found near her body, they were barbiturates, powerful sedatives. The kind that, slow breathing, caused disorientation, make resistance impossible. Enough pills were found to knock out multiple people, yet no fingerprints were found on the bottles. No struggle marks around the scene, which led to a chilling question. Did she take the pills herself, or were they given to her? Even more disturbing, Norwegian authorities classified parts off the investigation. Witness statements disappeared. Files were sealed. Information was quietly buried. During the Cold War, that usually meant only one thing. Years later, intelligence agencies were asked directly, was the Isdal woman a spy? Their response, no comment, and that silence spoke louder than any confession. Because if she was an agent, then her death wasn't an accident. It was a failure, and failures in that world are rarely allowed to survive. We uncover the most terrifying possibility of all, that the Isdal woman did not die alone, and someone else walked out of Isdal Valley that day. Weeks after the body was discovered, a witness came forward with a chilling story. A woman matching the Isdal woman's description had boarded a train from Bergen. She wasn't alone. A man was with her. Tall, well-dressed, foreign accent. The witness noticed something disturbing. The woman looked nervous. Her posture was tense. She avoided eye contact. She let the man speak for her. At one point, she leaned toward him and whispered something urgently. Minutes later, they got off the train together. That man was never identified, and no one ever saw him again. Investigators retraced her final hours. She had checked out of her hotel abruptly, changed rooms one last time, asked specifically about bus routes to Isdal Valley. Witnesses said she seemed distracted, almost afraid. She bought supplies, matches, food, alcohol. Nothing unusual, except for one thing. She asked the bus driver a strange question. Is this place far from people? Hours later, she was dead. Officially, her death was ruled a suicide, but the evidence never fully fit. Consider this: severe burns, yet no clear ignition source. Pills taken, yet no container found in her hands. Her body positioned unnaturally. No soot in her lungs consistent with normal self-burning. Forensic experts later suggested something terrifying. She may have been sedated first, then placed in the valley, then set on fire. If that's true, she didn't die alone. She was left there. Years later, journalists requested access to the full investigation. What they found raised alarms. Witness statements missing, autopsy photos restricted, intelligence-related documents sealed. Some files remain classified to this day. Why would a simple suicide case need government secrecy? Unless the truth was never meant to be public. There is one final detail investigators rarely talk about. Shortly before her death, the Isdal woman was seen meeting someone in secret, someone powerful enough to erase her identity, someone who walked away. Backhand index pointing right in part 4. We reveal the most haunting question of all. What if we already know who she was, and the world was never supposed to find out? The DNA that changed everything for decades. The Isdal woman remained a ghost. No name, no family, no past. But in 2016, something changed. Scientists re-examined evidence using modern DNA technology. Teeth samples, tissue preserved from the autopsy. The results shocked investigators. She was not Scandinavian. Her DNA suggested she was likely born in Central Europe, possibly Germany, or near the French-German border. Even her accent, once described as strange, suddenly made sense. She had learned languages deliberately, carefully, like someone trained to blend in. Then came a chilling testimony. A woman contacted authorities with a childhood memory. She remembered a mysterious woman who stayed with her family years earlier. Elegant, strict, emotionally distant. The woman spoke multiple languages. She never shared personal details. And one thing stood out: she had burn scars on her neck. The same scars described in the Isdal woman's autopsy. The memory couldn't be confirmed, but it added something terrifying to the case. Backhand index pointing right, the Isdal woman may not have lived alone. Backhand index pointing right, she may have had a life that was deliberately erased. So what was she really? 3 theories remain. Theory 1, a Cold War spy. Her movements matched NATO activity. Her behavior matched intelligence training. Her death matched operational silence. Theory 2, a courier. Not a spy, but someone who carried secrets, information, money, messages. People like that are not allowed to make mistakes. Theory 3, a disappeared identity. someone running from a past so dangerous. Death was the only escape. But all three theories share one thing. She knew too much, and someone made sure she could never speak again. Most mysteries fade with time. This one didn't, because the Isdal Woman represents something deeper. The idea that a person can exist, travel across countries, meet dozens of people, live for years, and then vanish without a name. No grave marked with truth. No history remembered. Just silence. Officially, the Isdal Woman remains unidentified. Her case remains unsolved, and many files remain classified, which means one thing: some truths are not lost. They are hidden, and sometimes, the scariest mysteries aren't about ghosts or monsters. They're about how easily a human life can be erased. Because somewhere, someone knew exactly who she was, and they are still silent. The Isdal Woman never told her story, because she was never meant to.